Today we're talking about how I set up VS Code for most of my programming videos, at least the ones where I'm running code in Linux. Welcome back, everybody. Several of you have asked how I set up VS Code so that I can edit code natively on my Mac, but then test it out on Linux without any copying. This is a setup that I started using for my operating systems class during COVID. In that class, we use Linux for everything, and I used to just run just a normal virtual machine that I would create with VirtualBox or something like that. But I found on my older laptop that running a full virtual machine and a Zoom call at the same time would sometimes make things a little bit laggy, so it'd slow things down a little bit. So I went about finding myself a more efficient setup, and it's one that I'm still using today. And so I thought today I would show you how it works. Also, if you enjoy these videos, please consider supporting the channel either with a like or a subscribe, buying merch, or supporting the channel directly through Patreon, where you can get access to source code and office hours and ad-free viewing. It all helps, and I really appreciate all of you who help make this channel work. So now let's take a look at my setup. I'm going to be setting this up for my Mac, but it should work on any system that can run Vagrant. So we're starting here with VS Code. There also is really nothing specific about VS Code. Just about any editor would work, and you will need a terminal window. VS Code allows me to open a terminal window just integrated right in the editor here, so that's great. But again, that's convenient, not necessary. Pretty much any editor, I could make this work, and I could just like stick a terminal window down along the bottom or on the side or wherever I want it to go. I am just using the vanilla VS Code install here. You can install whatever plugins you like, but they also aren't necessary for this setup. So the stuff I'm going to show you in this video doesn't require any kind of plugins whatsoever. What is necessary is that you have Vagrant installed on your machine. So Vagrant is a tool for creating headless virtual machines. A headless virtual machine is just a virtual machine without all of the graphical user interface stuff. So no windows, no cool graphics, just a machine that I can SSH into and use a terminal. So I like using headless VMs whenever I can because they are more efficient, both in terms of CPU and memory usage. And a lot of my classes and a lot of my work isn't graphical, so this works great. And Vagrant makes creating headless virtual machines super easy. Keep in mind, this is not sponsored. This is not, the Vagrant folks are not telling me what to say or paying me to say anything nice. This is just what I use. In order to make a headless VM using Vagrant, you just need a Vagrantfile. Okay, so which is kind of named in a way that kind of feels like a makefile or a Docker file or whatever. It's a file that describes the virtual machine we want to create. The Vagrant file is written in Ruby and is basically just describes how we want Vagrant to set up our virtual machine. So up here at the top, we have things like I describe what I want my base Vagrant box or image to look like. So I want to start with just a Ubuntu 2404 install. So that's the base install that I want to go with. But there are a lot of different images available that you can use, and you can create your own if none of the available ones will work for you. Usually I find one of the existing ones works just fine for what I have in mind. Down here at the bottom, you'll notice there's this provision section, and this is where I basically am specifying all of the different packages that I want to have installed on this machine. So basically, once the virtual machine, the base box is downloaded, it is going to then run this script. It's going to install all of these packages on the virtual machine. This is what I needed for the class where this Vagrant file comes from. Feel free to customize this however you want in order to get the setup that works for your project. And then here in the middle, I kind of skipped over this, but this is also really important for what I'm showing you. So at least for me, what I'm trying to do is here I'm telling Vagrant that I want to set up a shared folder between my host machine, that's my Mac, and the virtual machine that we're creating. So what I'm specifying, you notice I created a shared directory here, it's currently empty, and on the virtual machine, it's going to be at this path. So it's going to be mounted at /home/vagrant/shared code. Again, you can name this just about anything you want. This is just what I'm using for this example. And this is the feature that allows me, basically, there's going to be a link between the virtual machine and my local machine. So if I put my code in this shared directory right here, then any edits I make are just going to show up instantly in the virtual machine. Okay, one last thing down here, you may have noticed there's a little bit down here. So this is something that I used for the class to copy in a bash RC script that I wanted to have in there. I'm going to take that out because I don't need it for this example. And this too. And then you'll notice this last little piece, this is here just because you've seen in some of my videos, you get these annoying, the virtual machine and the host machine get a little out of sync. So you get these warnings, usually when you're running make. And so this is an attempt to minimize that. But yeah, so once I have this Vagrant file in place, let's make sure I save it. Once this is in place, then all I have to do is come down to my terminal and run Vagrant up. And then wait while it creates the Vagrant box and gets up and running. Now, this might take a while the first time because it will have to download the entire image, which is fairly large. And then it's going to have to install all of the packages that I specified. In my case, because the box is probably already on my local machine, yeah, it didn't take nearly as long. And you can see it's already installing the packages, just going about setting those all up. And I'll skip a lot of the waiting since otherwise this would just be a very unnecessarily long video. But the point is once you've done this once, then Vagrant Up should be very quick. It should run very quickly because all it has to do is power up the VM. Okay, so now Up has finished, so we should be ready to go. Now we should just be able to run Vagrant SSH. And now we are logged into our virtual machine over SSH. You can see down here it says Vagrant, Vagrant. And of course, just like any other machine, I can customize it however I like. But most importantly, I just want to point out that I can now, if I list in the directory, you can see there is this shared code directory, right? Remember, shared code is what we called our synced folder between the virtual machine and my host. So if we come in here and let's just cd into shared code. Now, let's just say that I decide I'm in the virtual machine and I decide to create a file. I'll just say touch example.c. Let's say I was going to create a little program in here. We come to here, all of a sudden example.c is in here. We can edit it on my Mac. I can just say int main, let's just say int argc, argv, we'll just edit some code and then we'll make something that doesn't do anything. Exit success, include standard lib.h so that our errors disappear. And yeah, so if I edit this and then I come in here, I can do like gcc example.c and you notice it compiled it. And so you get this seamless syncing between my Linux box, which I'm SSH'd into, and I can run so I can see, well, how is this gonna run? It doesn't do anything. Let's at least make it do something. But if we say hello Linux, and now we come in here and compile it again, it would be good if I included standard io.h. Okay, so we compile it and now we can just run it and we get hello Linux. So yeah, so it's really nice. I basically have a folder on my machine that's synced between these two, the virtual machine and my host machine. And so I can just go ahead and edit code as much as I like here on my Mac. It's going to automatically show up as long as it's in this shared code folder. And that is how I run code that's edited on my Mac and run in Linux in just about all of the tutorial videos that I post on here. So I hope that's helpful. I hope it helps some of you. It might be simpler than you expected. Please let me know down in the comments if there are other setup related things that you'd like to see in future videos. And until the next video, I'll see you later.